You know, guys, some might wonder why I spend so much time on video talking about COVID and everything. I mean, it's no fun. I'd rather be talking about sci-fi, fantasy, goofy shit and everything. But you know something, guys, I am never the type to run from real life shit. I've always talked about that on my channel. Some people say, "Wow, you're talking about real stuff." I mean, if you go back far enough, that's all I was doing. It just so happens that when life gets real, I tend to kind of pay attention. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. I have so many people who have come through my comment section who have told me, because of all of these lockdowns and mandates, that they are facing termination from their jobs. So when you have that going on, you kind of have an obligation to at least address the reality of what's going on. And also, guys, for a long time, you might remember, I was the person who was saying for years, when I was critiquing Disney Star Wars and everything, I would always say this is bigger than Star Wars. It's really about control. I was saying that back then because it just seemed like when you have a disregard for people's feelings, even if it's about a movie, and you have in the midst of that people being put out there as racist and alt-right and Trumpers and all this stuff, I'm like, what has this got to do with the movie? It became apparent to me that there was a psyop going on. That's what I always felt. So to see what's going on now is kind of just an extension of that. It's just more of the same psyop. So for me, it's natural to talk about this because it deserves to be talked about. It deserves to have the attention. So you're going to get it here, even though, I don't care how few viewers it gets or whatever. People want escapism, and I do understand that. But like I said before, this is some real shit, and I really do want to address it. And by the way, it's like with this one right here, you can see how those worlds actually cross, because you can try to indulge in escapism and everything, but I don't know if you've been noticing, but the wiggle room is getting a lot smaller. The walls are closing in for that escapist fantasy fun because they've been infiltrating all of the things that we used to escape, for just a little while. So like I said before, we first started seeing it with comics. We saw it with games. We saw it with our movies. And that's what it is, guys. It's like someone's knocking on the door. Someone's ringing the bell. Someone's knocking at the door. Someone's ringing the bell. Do me a favor. Don't open the door and don't let them in. You know what I mean? And that's what's going on, guys. You can't run and you can't hide. It's there. So this story right here, and this is actually a couple of stories combined, right? We have, once again, Marina Sirtis, Counselor Troy from Star Trek The Next Generation, popping off once again. And this seems to be something that's becoming constant with her. Every time she opens her mouth, it's like, yo, shut up. I just want to remember you as Counselor Troy, please. But she's taking that Mark Hamill approach where she just is determined to insult a sizable part of her audience. Star Trek The Next Generation, it's been beloved by millions of people for a very long time, and for her to be as flippant as she is with her opinions, which she is entitled to, but it's not the wisest thing in the world, because especially these days, it's contributing to a larger sense of vaxism, which is what I was talking about before. Vaxism, racism, vaxism, discriminating against people based upon their vaccine status. That's what we've got going on. And like I said before, you have all of these people who are losing their livelihoods, who have supported her, and have supported these people. But they find it appropriate now and acceptable where they can condemn all of these people, regardless of their situation and, just all of the factors that might have played into the decision that they made not to get the jab. And, she's just one of many in Hollywood right now. As a matter of fact, Hollywood is not safe for free thinkers. You have to toe the line, and it's bleeding over into every other aspect of our lives. So what did Marina Sirtis say? She basically said, and let me just read it so I don't misquote this woman. She said, "I won't be doing any conventions unless everyone is double vaxxed." I guess she'll be standing at the door checking them. Guests and public, which rules out a lot of conventions in the US. So she is accepting the fact that she is completely forsaking a lot of her fans and fans of the next generation that are in the United States and pretty much the world, because this is something that's going on everywhere. So once again, Marina Sirtis not taking the time to be the empath that she plays on the show. She has no empathy, basically, which I found disgusting because a lot of us wished her well when her husband passed away years ago. You know, it was very tragic. But once again, that's what you see here in Hollywood. It's like these people, they're hypocrites and they don't deserve the adoration that we give to them. Like, she is totally going to disregard and not understand the many, many factors that play into the decisions that people make. You just can't respect that. You know, she can't do it. So, you know, there you have it with Marina Sirtis. But I also want to talk about Giancarlo Esposito, because I saw the story with him where he is basically saying that he has no sympathy for the unvaxxed. And let's just see what he had to say, shall we? Let's just check on Giancarlo Esposito. As you know, he plays Moff Gideon on The Mandalorian. He also played in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Of course, way back, he was bugging out, you know, in Do the Right Thing. And he seems like that role, he's a method actor because he's really bugging out now. But let's see what he said. Okay. He said, if you don't want to vaccinate, go to a small island and sequester yourself. Otherwise, you're saying fuck you to all other human beings. We all have to do it if we want to live. Just totally ignoring the survival rate of this thing. Once again, guys, say it with me, 99.9% recoverable. But he's saying you must get the jab if you want to live. You see, and there it is, guys. There is the, you know, the narrative that these people are going to die on that hill for. You know, do what we tell you to do or you're going to die. This jab is your key to life. Dr. Fauci, come with me if you want to live. You know, basically that's what's happening here. You know, so he says, okay, we all have to do it if we want to live. I don't understand how people don't vaccinate, Esposito told THR. For me, I've lost dear friends, so I know it's real. Okay, we all know it's real, man. You know, but once again, you know, I've been telling you guys forever, the reasons why this is the way it is because they made it that way. They chose not to treat people. And that's the difference that it makes. Early treatment is the difference that it makes. The vaccine, okay, you can work with vaccines. The vaccine has to be safe, it has to be effective, and it goes hand in hand with early treatment. And I would imagine now that you're seeing this high rate or growing rate of breakthroughs, it's becoming more apparent how important it is to have early treatment, not just for the unvaccinated, but for the fully vaccinated who are still getting sick, unless you just want to deny that they're out there. But of course, people like Giancarlo Esposito, being the judgmental pricks that they are, they don't want to accept that, you know? So there's only one agenda here, and that's get the jab, get the jab, get the jab, no matter what. Got to make those billions. So he says, not only in Europe, but America, friends who were completely healthy and uncompromised. The vaccine is the answer. He says, I'm not downing anyone who doesn't want to vaccinate. Just don't work. Go write it out somewhere. You're not going to compromise anyone else if you, I guess it says if you get it. All right. Now, once again, I think it's been proven by now that even if you are double jabbed, you can still pass it on. You can still shed. You can still carry this. This is the reason why the kids are getting hit so hard with the Delta. You know what I mean? Because their parents got fully vaccinated, but they're still carrying it home. You know, where they're not wearing masks, where they're not social distancing. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I'm not a scientist, but I'm just saying, you know, but once again, you would think that these people, if they really, really take their positions so seriously as celebrities and public figures, you would think they would take the time to educate themselves, you know, to look past what is government approved and government sponsored and look at what some of these actual doctors are saying out here. Disney Plus, they're going to be doing a documentary on Dr. Fauci. You know, Dr. Fauci, just completely ignore all of your frontline doctors who are out there, the FLCCC, the Frontline COVID Critical Care Alliance. These are doctors like way more accredited than Dr. Fauci from all around the world who are talking about the importance of early treatment. But you don't see them getting a documentary. You don't see them on the news. You don't see anybody asking them, hey, is it okay if we celebrate Christmas? We're actually asking Fauci that shit. You know what I mean? Fauci first said, I just don't know. It might be too early to tell. But then he had to clarify and said, well, I'll be spending Christmas with my family. People, I swear, we're asking for this, guys. We really are. So you have these celebrities who they can go in this other direction and condemn everybody out there, all of their audience and stuff. And then you have Letitia Wright. Letitia Wright just said, hey, do your homework. You want to know what you're putting into your body. And here she is being canceled. Here they are calling for her to be fired from the Black Panther so-called sequel, which is really not a sequel because there'll be no Black Panther in there. There'll be no T'Challa. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so yes, you have Letitia Wright, who's currently being raked over the coals because she actually spoke something that sounds a lot more sensible than what Marina Sirtis and Giancarlo Esposito are saying. They're talking about like going completely like out there, just everybody who chooses not to get this needle needs to be away from the rest of us, just divisive as hell. Letitia is just talking about knowing what you're going to do, informing yourself, educating yourself before you make a decision. I think that sounds a lot more reasonable. I don't know about you guys, but this is what we got going on, guys. Like Hollywood is the depths of hell right now. There is no free thought. All there is programming for the rest of us. And I don't care if it's Colbert dancing with cartoon needles on his show, or it's Marina Sirtis acting like an idiot, or Giancarlo Esposito. We can't trust any of them. Even Mark Hamill, like I said before, they're all going to betray us because they're all on board. And it's scary that they're all on board. You guys heard me make the comparison before from this to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And that's exactly how it is. Just join us. Just join us. But remember, in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you had to fall asleep in order to join the enlightened consciousness. So that's what they want. They want us, don't ask any questions, don't think, just gently fall asleep and let us do what we need to do. And when you wake up, you'll feel much better. No pain, no confusion, no worries. Well, no, thank you. I don't want to be any part of that. And I'm going to make my stand here. Yeah, I think I am, and, someone told me, someone very close to me, they were like, well, Mark, think about your son. Think about your son. And I'm talking about if they come from my job. Listen, all I think about is my son. You guys know that. And really, I want all of this heat. I want all of this smoke. I want all of the anger, all of the hatred. I want that. I want that directed towards me so he won't have to go through it. That's the way I think. Give it to me. I want us to fight this battle. You've heard me say it before. We got to protect our kids. Let us give your kids the jab so they can protect everybody. No. You got that backwards. We protect them. And I'm glad to see that there are more people who have been jabbed who are taking this stand as well. This is not a world that we want to live in, guys. This is not a world. And I had a scary thought too, just before I go. They extended the mandates through the armed forces. Could you imagine? Could you imagine not knowing the long-term effects and doing a sweeping action such as this, where you would jab all of your armed forces? That's your mandate. Man, I hope it's as safe as they say it is. Let's just put it like that. Because if it's not, and we compromised our armed forces, and we compromised our healthcare workers, and we compromised our police departments and fire departments, man, we're going to be ass out, bro. But anyway, let's hope I'm wrong, okay? I'm going to end the video letting my critics, just run wild with that. Let's just assume that I'm wrong, okay? Because anything else is just too horrible to think about. But anyway, guys, that's it. You can get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this crap that I've been talking. And I will see you on the next one. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on the next one if you don't catch me on Twitter. All right, guys, thank you for listening. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.